Hey, you all, and good morning. Carpetbagger here, and we are back on our US1 road trip. Epic Universe is officially open, and we are officially back on our US Route 1 buoy to buoy road trip. And I decided to pick up pretty much exactly where I left off. We were in Titusville. I'm back in the Titusville area, Merritt Island, home of the Kennedy Space Center. We're here at the Visitor Center. This is, the place where rockets are launched, the place where you go to shoot something into outer space. And of course, the Florida coast here, known as the Space Coast, known for its many rocket launches, shooting spaceships into the air. Now, unfortunately, I was trying to see if I could see an actual launch, but it doesn't work. It looked like it was happening about every 3 or 4 days, so I wasn't able to time it correctly. But I do want to come back here sometime in the future. Sometime when I return to Florida, I do want to come over here and try to see a rocket launch. I've never seen one before, but today we are going to be enjoying the Kennedy Space Center. So please follow me. Over here you have the launch clock. I guess they can count down space launches by hours, minutes, and seconds. Bought my tickets over here at this little kiosk. Buy them from these little rockets here. It's actually a pretty smooth process. Got them in about 2 seconds. This giant TV screen here. Looks like we're watching an astronaut drive around on some sort of moon colony. There we have the NASA globe. I guess this is where we go to start exploring. We enter here through the rocket garden, but I think we want to get on the bus first because the bus tours don't last all day. Yeah, it's a mostly outdoor complex. You have the different buildings that house different exhibits. We are looking for those buses. I feel like I've been riding a lot of buses the last couple days. Carting us around Universal property on the buses. I may have to change this to the year of planes, trains, automobiles, and buses. Okay, here's where we board our bus. Hopefully we'll see an alligator out here. And our chariot awaits. I'll get a seat over here by the window.
And its pilot. Man rating for human spaceflight on what was previously a ballistic missile, 61.
As far as bus rides go, this is a pretty comfy bus.
Astronaut Alan.
Hi, I'm Janet Petro, and welcome to NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center, where NASA astronauts have ventured forth on flights of exploration.
Over there is the VAB, or Vehicle Assembly Building. That is where they actually put together and assemble the rockets. It's one of the biggest buildings in the world. It's so big and empty on the inside that it actually has its own weather patterns inside the building.
Another 3 decades. How cool is that? The latest refurbishment is complete, and preparation is well underway for the first.
It's on 8 acres of land in itself. They are busy working on Artemis 2 rocket inside there because it takes 45 minutes to open them just one way.
It's 45 minutes to
You'll
open
see
the
the
doors.
workers, they'll have some of the panels open to let in some light and some air. And they don't tell you in the video, but they have to hand paint the flag and the logo.
They are currently putting together
I
a
was on
rocket
the other
in
side
there.
this morning doing some training at one of our other locations.
There's the crawler
They moved all
that
the
actually
shuttles.
transports the shuttles.
See, there's no alligators down there in your swimming pool.
We have arrived here at our destination. There's some sort of space rover here. I guess it's on the moon because I can see the Earth right there. All right, let's head inside. Looks like we got a pre-show in here.
And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon.
Going into the launch room here. See if we can get a front row seat here. This is the actual launch room here for the Apollo 8 mission.
Final minutes before the launch of Apollo 8. Right here,
You can watch the
where it actually
rocket
happened.
up here.
Ignition sequence start. The engines are armed. 4, 3.
And here we get to see a Saturn V rocket. It's the type of rocket they would have used during Apollo 8 to circle the moon. You can see how big this rocket is. Takes up this entire building here. This rocket's so big, it's almost hard to see the whole thing at once. So down here we have a little miniature version that we can take in a little easier. It's still pretty big though, for a model. It kind of shows the insides here, shows like how it breaks apart. You can see up there on the big rocket there how kind of different sections kind of pull apart as it launches. This is a statue of Dr. Harrison Hagen Schmidt. You can't really see what he looks like because he's wearing a spacesuit, but it is a tribute to all the different astronauts that explored the moon. And here, there he is. You can see his face there with his helmet removed. He was Apollo 17th astronaut and the 12th American to step on the moon. And here's the Moon Rock Cafe where you can dine underneath the rocket. And here is a replica of the moon landing. You see the astronauts down here. This astronaut saluting the U.S. flag. And one interesting thing is they actually have a special flagpole that they use on the moon. You can see here the flagpole goes up, and then it has a bar across the top that the flag can hang straight down because there's no wind on the moon, so the flag would not flap around. So you're able to have a real flag flying on the moon and have a real astronaut saluting it. And then this guy over here, he is looks like he's maybe collecting some moon rocks. Man, look at this. They left a lot of footprints on the moon. I guess those footprints are all still up there. I don't know. I guess most people don't get to go see the footprints up there on the moon because, you know, people don't go to the moon very often. But yeah, it would be cool if one day, if tourists got to go to the moon, we'd go up there and see those footprints and this flag. Although I think I heard the flag is now bleached white from all the moon beams or sunbeams out in space. And check this out here. This is the Astro Van. Unfortunately, they did not drive this van on the moon. The purpose of this was to give the astronauts a ride to the launch pad. So they'd suit up and then climb in the Astro Van and get a ride to their rocket. Take a peek in the back of the Astro Van. They said this is actually a converted RV. They couldn't use a normal van because the spacesuits were so bulky. So you see they have the seats spaced out really big, extra big seats there for them to sit in their spacesuits. Now this is a tribute to Apollo 1, where the astronauts unfortunately died in an explosion on the launch pad. Here we have Roger B. Chaffee, Edward White, and Virgil Gus Grissom, the three astronauts that passed away in the explosion, showing some pictures, some of their home life here on these screens. Oh, now look at that. We have some of their actual personal effects behind the glass here. It's a West Point cadet military uniform there. Some of the equipment that they used as well. The ship. Checkers. There's the hatch there. Oh, these are the actual hatches from the Apollo 1 spacecraft recovered from the explosion. There you can see them in there, getting ready for the launch. So this is the lunar rover. They folded up, they brought it with them so that they could drive around on the moon, which makes a lot of sense. You know, you can get to the moon, a rocket, travel all those thousands of miles. Once you get there, you know, you're limited by how far you can walk. So good to have a vehicle. That's one of the problems I have with flying is you fly to a city and then you don't have a vehicle. And, I can't pack a lunar rover with me, so I have to get a rental car. Some other moon tools. This is the lunar tool cart. It's a lunar photo scale and a lunar scoop used to scoop up dirt and rocks on the moon. Here's the spacesuit there. And I learned at the American Space Museum just here across the bridge in Titusville, you don't want to get moon dust all over your shuttle. So you have to wear these booties here that protect, or at least keep the dust off your feet and out of the space shuttle, because you don't want dirt and grime floating around getting in your eye in space. And I love the helmet here, how it's literally just kind of like a fishbowl that you plop on over your head. Yeah, another lunar rover. Seems like it'd be really fun to go for a ride on one of these things. So anywhere where they let you take a lunar rover ride on a real lunar rover. I'm looking here to see cockpit of a lunar module. Oh, if you look over there, you can see, really careful, you can see Earth out of the window. Well, we have the NASA vault here. Take a peek inside and see what NASA's been hiding from us. It's a lunar sample in here. It looks kind of sparkly. This is interesting. These are RX-1 arms that attempt to design a new different type of spacesuit, going away from the more cloth-based suits. It's literally almost like a suit of armor in space. A whole row of different spacesuits here. I think this one may be my favorite. Look at that. This is what those arms went to. They're the RX-2 Extra Vehicular Activity Spacesuit. It looks so like steampunk or sci-fi. It's pretty incredible. Oh man, I wish they used these type of suits. That's just amazing. But apparently part of the problem with that is too heavy. It caused exhaustion walking around. So this is a more lightweight suit that was designed. See, it's still got some hard elements to it. Still does not look all that comfortable, but I guess you can move around a little more. I think this is another one that allows quite a bit of mobility. See some of the smaller tools used in space, the gloves there, the lunar scoop. It's interesting, one of the items used for high-end scientific research, same kind of item you would use to clean up a dog's feces. This is a space television camera where you could broadcast from space to television, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Yeah, these little baggies you would use to put the moon samples in. Like I said, pretty much the act of collecting lunar samples is pretty much the same as the act of cleaning up after your dog. This is basically like a sewing kit for a spacesuit for fixing minor repairs. I would be terrified if I found a hole in my spacesuit. Just be like, la da da. Let me just get my sewing kit out. This is the Apollo 14 capsule. So this actually went to space on a rocket, and then the human beings climbed in here and safely returned to Earth. They splashed down in the ocean, and they were retrieved. Crazy, crazy seeing anything that's actually been to space, and something this massive that's carried human astronauts. Pretty remarkable. Here it says the ultimate road trip, implying that going to space is indeed the ultimate road trip. I actually do disagree with this. I think the ultimate road trip is the buoy to buoy Route 1 road trip. We can explore the garden. And this is the moon tree garden. Now it says these plants are descendants of the original moon trees, grown from seeds carried on Apollo 13. So these trees didn't come from the moon, but these trees' parents, when they were seeds, went to the moon. They planted those trees, and then for some reason they all died. But then they took some of the seeds from those trees that died and grew new moon trees. I don't know if being a moon tree can be inherited, but you know what? Yes, it can. I believe these are moon trees. In addition to being descendants of actual moon trees, each one of these trees represents a different Apollo mission. And here are the 3 astronauts from the Apollo 2 crew that made it to the moon. Of course, we have Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and the Garfunkel of the group, Michael Collins. I don't mean to disparage the good name of Michael Collins. There always, you know what? There always has to be a Garfunkel, and I think Michael Collins is quite the Garfunkel. Garfunkel had one of the most amazing singing voices of all time, and Michael Collins, he did the important work. He put in the work. His friends got to go outside and play, and he did the important work back in the ship while they gallivanted around, prancing around on the moon. And it's kind of what it's like. It's like, say, like you and your 2 buddies go to the beach. And you get to the beach and there's nowhere to park. So these 2 are like, hey, Michael, we really want to go swim at the beach. We want to go play in the water, play in the sand, swim. But there's nowhere to park, so could you just drive the car around until we're ready to go? And Michael's like, you know what? I would hate for none of us to be able to do this. So I'm gonna stay in this car. I'm gonna drive around the beach while you guys play in the sand, play in the water, get to do all the fun stuff and get all the glory, because that's how important it was to Michael Collins that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin got to play at the beach. And there is some bleachers back here. These would be used to watch the launches. You can see across the water here, you can actually see the launch pads where they would shoot off rockets from. I really wish today they were doing a launch. I think I'm going to pay attention to when launches are happening, and next time I'm in Florida, I'm going to try to catch one. We came back inside here so we could exit through the gift shop. We have Snoopy here, who actually served as a mascot for NASA safety and broader NASA in general. Apparently, when they contacted Charles Schulz, he was actually excited because he was a huge fan of NASA and space travel. It says he let them use Snoopy for free, and actually his only requirement was that he could draw the Snoopy images himself. And there's the MTV Moon Man. They used to give maybe you still do. I remember they gave out the MTV awards were shaped like a moon man. And is that still a thing that happens? I imagine it doesn't, but maybe it still does. Oh, and they got pressed pennies here. They got a lot of pressed pennies. Oh my gosh, yeah, a lot of designs to choose from. May have to pick and choose. Get a few different NASA pennies. This one says, NASA, I need my space. Yeah, a lot of variety here. Let's get a couple. And I believe that to be a fine collection of space pennies. Get your space merch in here, some space t-shirts. And I do like these pennants here. It says, first American astronaut landing on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Some space ornaments for your Spacemas tree. There's Santa coming back to Earth in a module. Got your wooden astronauts and a little VAB with Christmas lights. Aww, Santa loves his space shuttle. I really wish astronauts rode spaceships like this. That'd be so much more fun. Oh, there's a whole lot of I need my space merchandise. It's a strong pun. I can't argue with that. There's fun little astronaut figurines. Oh, this one here to me kind of looks like a astronaut playing with his phone on the toilet. Oh, look at this. Let's see if it snows in space. It does. It does snow in space. Oh, these are space pens. You can write upside down. These are good if you want to write a whole bunch of things on your ceiling. Like if you go crazy and you want to write all over your house like The Shining. This is what you would use to write on the ceiling. Now it's time to hop back aboard the bus and head back to the main facility. Next up, I think we're going to head inside and see the space shuttle Atlantis. We enter here under these giant rockets. Shuttle Atlantis. So yeah, the massive space shuttle Atlantis here. And then over here, this is pretty interesting. They showed us a video about the creation of the space shuttle program, and this is the original prototype that was created. Says Dr. Max Faget said he tossed this model at his engineers. This was the original idea to make a space vehicle, not just a rocket that would shoot you off into space and then disintegrate this and fall apart. This was meant to be enter space and be able to come back to Earth and be reused over and over again. It had never been done before. So he came up with this model, and they started to work, and they eventually came up with the space shuttle. We can see one right here. Space Shuttle Atlantis. Came up the stairs here. You get a better look here at the space shuttle. You can see the arm here. It says Canada on it because it was constructed by the U.S. But I think Canada built that arm for us. We appreciate it. Thanks, Canada. Yeah, this opens up here. This is just basically an open space. They can put anything they want in there. Satellites. They put if they get a space station or something, they put that in there. Close the hatch and fly it into space. Looking at the underbelly of the shuttle here. Now, when I went to the American Space Museum, which is also here in Titusville, they explained to me that the different colors you see on the bottom, that means that tile was replaced. These are like super heat resistant tiles, but they do require replacing. Not that they'll all wear out at the same time, so they fix new ones. That's why there's little darker spots before they send it back up into space. It's a dangling astronaut there. So they would leave the shuttle and flutter around in these little jetpacks. Oh, you see the Canadian arm there. The astronauts can actually stand on top of the arm. You see the arm actually locks onto their feet like roller skates, so they can be moved around. So basically you got an astronaut on a stick there. You could swing him around, get him anywhere you need. Yeah, once you have the astronaut on a stick, you can send him out there to fix the outside of the shuttle. Here is a toolbox, an Astro toolbox. You can climb around inside these tubes. It says, come inside and explore the ISS, the International Space Station. And there is a sign here that says, astronauts don't wear shoes in space. That's the disclaimer there. They wear shoes when they're home with their families. That it's not implying they're some sort of shoeless weirdos when they get back to Earth. And you can simulate the space shuttle coming back to Earth by means of this slide. Okay, here we go.
3, 2,
Back down to Earth. The smaller model of the shuttle there shows how it launches. And it shows how they use a plane to transport the shuttle. You can actually go to the Space Center in Houston and see the plane. And check out this sweet Airstream Astro van here. Made out of a Airstream trailer. Take a peek in the back. Some more press penny machines here. Now some of these are duplicates of what we've already seen, but they do have some more unique ones. I did want to get one that had the Atlantis Space Shuttle on it. One more space penny for the collection. And then we exit through another gift shop. And here in front of a replica of the Astrovan, they have astronaut signings. I guess later today there'll be an astronaut here, Daniel M. Tanny. And I guess you can get an autograph photo of a real astronaut. Oh, this sign is where they put out when it is closed. Astronaut autograph signing is now closed due to astronaut time constraints. I mean, astronauts are pretty busy. This is pretty fun. Over the gift shop, we have a version of the Atlantis Space Shuttle made out of a cardboard box. You have the mini block version of the Atlantis shuttle. Little mini space shuttle there you can take home. Oh, we have little astronaut dolls. And look, it is snowing during the shuttle launch. I wonder if they would still do the launch even if it was snowing. Now we've seen several gift shops already, but this is the world's largest space shop. On the window, there's a space family. There's the dadstronaut, the momstronaut, and the little boystronaut there. They need their space, that's for sure. A lot of space patches here. You can attach these to your spacesuit. Oh, and here's the ultimate road trip shirt with the lounging astronaut, or a lounge-stronaut, if you will. I think this road trip, I still think this road trip that we're currently on is better than space. Now, I've heard of dogs in space. I've heard of monkeys in space. I've never seen a bear in space. I think NASA should start a space bear program. And it's amazing how astronauts stay in such great shape when they eat so much ice cream. Yeah, there's an overabundance of press pennies here at the Kennedy Space Station. Oh boy! Oh, there is a astronaut landing on the moon. Oh, and this says Space Princess. Gotta get that one. And I like this one here. It has Planet Earth on it. Kennedy Space Station, Florida, USA. Right there. We've obtained quite a collection of space pennies today. See, in the middle of this picnic area, we have a rotating lunar module. Over here we have an exhibit on the Mars rover. I don't know what this giant vehicle here is. Oh, this is a Mars rover vehicle navigator known as Marvin. This is the journey to Mars. There's another vehicle to use on Mars, the space exploration vehicle here. It looks like a semi-truck for Mars. And some of the Mars rovers here that patrol Mars, wandering around all lonely amongst the red rocks by themselves, taking pictures, taking samples, knowing that one day, unless someone comes to rescue them, they'll just become a heaping pile of metal out alone in space. What happens if, like, one of the rovers gets, like, its wheel stuck somewhere, like between two rocks? Then is that just a couple $1 million down the drain, since we can't, like, actually go there and fix them? I'm sure they build them good, but, you know, anything could happen. Next up, we're going to head into the Gateway building. Welcome. In here, looks like they have some interactive experiences and some exhibits on the future of space travel. Well, here is a flight flown, space used, SpaceX uniform. Looks like we have come a long way from those old metal Knight of Armor spacesuits. This is the Life Habitat. Life stands for Large Integrated Flexible Environment. So it is a living quarters that people can live in space, work on their laptops, edit some videos. You can see them growing some like lettuce back there. Oh yeah, you can float through the air while you harvest your space lettuce. Looks like this is Artemis. This is the project they are currently working on. These are the Boeing spacesuits that are flown on the Boeing spaceship. And we exit into the rocket garden, where all these different styles of rockets sit to be enjoyed in their retirement. I guess these rockets technically never made it to space. They didn't fulfill their destiny, they didn't fulfill their mission, but they instead living a happy retirement here in Florida. Yeah, just a relaxing stroll through the rocket garden. A garden where they don't grow flowers. They grow rockets. The Heroes and Legends building here, the Astronaut Hall of Fame. Just head up this ramp. Enter the theater here. I think this is the last show of the day.
Heroes. You know, I have a lot of heroes. What's my hero? Your hero. I'm blind.
Oh, look at the robot over there.
Because of my father. My heroes are people.
Things pop up in the wall. There's like a classroom.
Everything that they do
on a regular basis and just
The bicycle.
watch the airplanes come and go.
My father.
Please watch your step as you enter the next theater. Guests with wheelchairs, scooters, or those who cannot use it.
What a beautiful view.
The all-war galaxy. I can't wait to see where you will go.
This exhibit here talks about the different attributes that make one an astronaut: curious, passionate, inspired. And here we see some of the inspiration. Actually, a lot of astronauts do talk about science fiction being a huge inspiration in and what they grew up wanting to do. You can see these are all toy space guns. Real astronauts don't use guns that often. The lunchbox, little toys there, Flash Gordon. It's about curiosity in here. The telescope, growing up looking at the stars. The erector set here where you could build your own rockets at home. Some of the other qualities, being disciplined, being confident. See the flight helmets in here, being confident that your head won't explode when you get on a very fast plane. This is the Mercury mission control here.
It was going so well that it was beyond belief that it could go that easily.
And the Courageous pod. Got this astronaut suit. A lot of cool astronaut suits here, I definitely could say that. This section has the Astronaut Hall of Fame. You can see the statue there. That's Alan B. Shepard Jr., the first American in space. Well, I don't know the names of every astronaut here in the Hall of Fame. I do notice a few of them. Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong. Probably not a whole lot more. Oh, John Glenn. I know John Glenn. Probably don't recognize the rest of them. Oh, Alan Shepard. We saw his statue. But yeah, this is silly, but I just think about them wearing those space helmets. You know, imagine if you went to the moon or went on a rocket and you had an itch on your face, like right there, and you had this bubble over your head. You just have to deal with that. And I know that sounds silly, but I just imagine how much discipline they have with their own bodies. The claustrophobia, things like that, the small spaces, the danger, just knowing that you could, be smothered at any moment. I think there's a lot to say about that. I do admire this sort of a tenacity that an astronaut has. I would be on the exact opposite end of that spectrum. Whatever tenacity that astronauts have regarding their own body and physical well-being, I would just be so terrified. I would probably, if I put a spacesuit on, if I put a helmet on, I would probably panic within 3 seconds. Yeah, a lot of astronauts here in the Hall of Fame. And since we are in Titusville, I figure we would stop back into the Dixie Crossroads. Ate here a week ago with some friends and really enjoyed it. So I figure we go for a second round here. And of course, I wanted to come back and say hello to the fun little rock shrimp that populate the restaurant. Okay, so I started out with the tropical shrimp soup. So this has coconut curry in it, as well as some other tropical items. Smells good. A lot of sweet flavors in there. Definitely tastes like coconut. Very interesting. It's like a coconut citrusy flavor. And this is what I needed. This is the shellfish combo. You got the shrimp, a special rock shrimp there with the really hard shells, and then some sea scallops. All right, just got the butter there to dip it in. A little scallop. Oh boy, that is good. Some shrimp. And the rock shrimp. Rock shrimp's a little more work. You gotta dig it out of there. Not too bad. Came out pretty easy. There we go. So I've devoured my shellfish here. There's the remains, but I wanted a little bit more, so I ordered a order of red shrimp here. These I believe are the best shrimp in the world, red shrimp. They're seasonal. You can't get them all the time, and I've only seen them in Florida, so I figured to get a plate full of these. Look at that. It even looks kind of like a lobster. Yeah, they really are kind of the best shrimp you can possibly get. Such delicious flavor. Now, I love all seafood, but shrimp aren't always my favorite. I feel like other seafood, like scallops, clams, oysters, have more of a rich flavor, but these pack so much deliciousness. Yeah, the absolute best shrimp you'll ever have in your life. So I've checked into my oddly oversized hotel room. It's got a giant open floor plan here. One thing I wanted to mention is apparently you guys pick up on a lot of things that I don't in my videos, because last night when I was leaving Dark Universe at Epic Universe, I was walking through the tunnel and I walked right past Danny Elfman, the composer of Nightmare Before Christmas, the composer of the Dark Universe theme, and for the love of God, the man wrote the theme song to The Simpsons. A absolute legend, and I just walked past him like nothing. I didn't recognize him, didn't notice him. I don't even remember seeing him. I was filming. You know, the screen on my camera is actually very tiny, so I'm looking through there, filming as I walk through, getting a shot, leaving the portal, and I walk right past Danny Elfman. And you guys pointed out in the comments section, hey, did you just walk past Danny Elfman? Yes, so he is in the video for a second as I walk past him. This is worse than back when I was in the Okefenokee Swamp. I showed up at the swamp, I'm like, look how beautiful the swamp is. And there's an alligator like laying right on the ground in front of me that I didn't notice. And you guys noticed it. So thank you for helping me see what's in my own videos, because apparently I don't have a handle on it. So thank you guys so much. We were back on US 1. We were back on Route 1. We were back on the Buoy to Buoy road trip. We did not make it very far today. We started the day here in the Titusville area. We are ending the day here in Titusville. Yeah, I went to the... I didn't get up very early this morning. The Epic Universe event, the heat took a lot out of me. Apparently, at least one of the days we were there was the hottest day in May it had ever been in Florida in recorded history. So one of the literal hottest days in Florida history while we were at Epic Universe. Now, Epic Universe is a great park. There is not a lot of shade. I will say that. You know, they built the new park. It's a brand spanking new park, so the trees still need to grow, need to expand their branches. In a few years, it will be lush and shaded, but right now it is pretty open and pretty hot, and we got the full force brunt of that. Our schedule was intense. This was some of the most fun I've had in my life, was these last couple days at Epic Universe, but it was a full schedule. We were getting up at, I was getting up at 5:30. I was not getting to bed till 1 or 2 in the morning, you know, with filming, editing, all that. They took great care of us. They took great care of us at Universal. Universal takes great care of media, but it was a marathon. And I'm happy to say that I've completed that marathon. I'm happy to say that Epic Universe is open to the public, that people are there right now enjoying Epic Universe and will be enjoying Epic Universe, which should be every day. Park's open every day. So yeah, every day from now until the end of time, there will be people at Epic Universe, enjoying the park. And I've had a great time enjoying the park. I'm happy that it is open to everyone, and anyone who wants to can purchase a ticket. Well, you have to wait a little bit because apparently they're sold out through June. So anytime after that, get your tickets now because apparently they're selling out fast. Hopefully, at some point, the tickets will open up and I will be able to return to Epic Universe and see how things are going. I've gotten a chance to visit there, I guess 3 times technically. I've been there on 3 different days, so definitely I got a chance to ride every ride, visit every land. So I'll be happy in the future to see how the park evolves. Like I said, that's something exciting, seeing how the park evolves over time. But yeah, what did we learn today? We learned about space. We learned about astronauts, rockets, shuttles. A rocket shoots an astronaut into space. A shuttle shoots an astronaut into space, but then comes back down. That's always been a big part of the problem. Shooting people into space is easy. Getting people back from space, I think that is the hard part. So we always learn quite a bit. I learned a lot about space, going to museums, going to different places. Space has always been something I didn't really understand. But I went to the Houston Space Center earlier in the year, and then today went to Kennedy. I've been to Kennedy in the past, but very informative, very educational, and learn a lot. And they really definitely push like the inspiring aspect of space travel and astronauts. So tomorrow, hopefully we get a little further tomorrow. Got to make it to Miami. Gonna be heading down the US 1 down the East Coast from here to Miami, and then from Miami to Key West, where we will finally, after weeks on the road, finally make it to the southernmost buoy in Key West, Florida. And I hope you guys will join me, accompany me for the rest of my journey down there. Thank you everyone who watches these videos. Special thank you to those who follow along and watch these videos daily. I know they're long. I know every day is a lot. So I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. Anyone that takes any time out of their day to watch my videos, I greatly appreciate. If you're new here, I travel around the country. I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, fun stuff. Sometimes we do big road trips. Sometimes we do an entire highway from beginning to end. And we have a lot of fun here. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider contributing to Patreon. $3 or more will get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling souvenirs in the Etsy shop. We got press pennies, motel key fobs, enamel pins, stickers, all sorts of fun stuff. Still doing personalized messages on Cameo if you're interested in receiving one of those. All the information for all those things is in the description, and all those things help keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and this dirigible or rocket in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.